Hi guys, and welcome to simple calculator applet developed using Java. Let me show you guys how this works. Check out the backspace. There we go. There. And we can even enter some other data and multiply that by whatever. There we go. Plus minus. Multiply that by 2. Yeah. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into Java development environment and we'll put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. And let's start a new project. I'm going to go to File. Let's select New Java, select Java and select Java Application. Click on Next. Let's give that a name. I'm going to call that Calculate Second. Yep, that's fine. I'm going to click on Finished. There we go, and my calculator second is ready. So the first thing is I'm going to import the following, but first of all let's get rid of all of this. It's confusing. And get rid of this as well and import the following libraries. There we go. Now I'm now going to come in here and just let's extend applet. There should be an S there. Okay, extend applets. Okay, and right underneath here, let's delete this. I'm going to enter JFrame. Let's get hold of the object and I'll call that F, and that will be new JFrame. And also let me enter a title for it. I'll just call it calculator and semicolon there. Now the next thing is I'm going to now create, let me use this to the name of my project here. I'm going to use that to create an object here, and the object name is going to be called cal, and this cal, that will be a new calc second. There we go. So that's the new object, that's the instant of the object I've just created now. Now the next thing is I'm going to get it, the object that I've just created, I'm going to get it initialized, and that will be dot initialize. While that is done, let me now set, I'm going to say f dot set size. That's good, and I'll just make the size about 500 by 600. So the width is 500 while the height is about 600, and I also want it to be centered. So let's say f dot, the f, like you, as you guys can see, represent my frame. That will be, let's get it centered. And I'm going to add my instance of an object right in there. Okay, that is that done. Let's move this up a little bit so that you guys can see it. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to ask the frame dot, I want it to show. There we go. There. Okay, now that that is taken care of, the next thing we want to do now, I'm going to say frame dot get root, plane, and I'm going to say dot set, that will be for the border. I want the border around it, and let's make that a border factory. Dot create method border, and let's specify the following argument. I'm going to make it about 12 by 12 by 12. Okay, yeah, and the color, I don't want yellow. Let's say dot, maybe something gray. Yeah, I think that will be all for the frame. So let's compile and run. So now click on run. There we go. Look at the frame. That is nice. So I'm going to exit out. Now the next thing I want to do now, okay, so there isn't much so far, so let's do this. Come right down here, and I'm going to create a display, a class display. Let's say class, we just call that display, and that's, we want it to extend as well. Extend panel. There. And inside is very class. Let's declare the following. Double. I'm going to call that digit 1 and initialize that with 0. And let's declare another one. We call that integer. Well, let's come in here and just put a space in there. So that's going to be for operator, that's 0 as well. Okay, now do this. Initialize that with a 0 as well. And I'm going to create a boolean now. Let's say a boolean. And that boolean, I'm going to call it equals. And initialize it with a false default. Now, another one is going to be integer. And this one I'm just going to call it maximum length. And that is going to be, let's make that 10. Then I'll create another one that I'll call string, and this very string I'm going to call that value text. Now that I've declared all my variables I intend to use, I'm going to create a label. So let's call that JLabel. First of all, create an object for that JLabel, and that object I'm going to call it J. Let's go for LBL display, and J display, LBL display. Let's put a space in here. I'm going to say new Java label, and let's enter default value of 0, comma, it's swing constant with a nice dot to the right. Okay, so that we align it straight to the right. Enter semicolon. That is good. We're getting somewhere. So the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to now create a method. No, let's create this first. It's now going to be a method. Let's create a constructor underneath here, and we just call it display. There we go. Inside this constructor, I want the following to happen. I'm going to say set layout. That is going to be new border layout. Okay, now the next thing we want to do, since the new border layout is set, let's do this. I'm going to call JLBL display. I'm going to say dot set border, and this very border, let's say it's going to be new line. Okay, new line border. And this new line border, let's say there's going to be color in there. Let's add color to it. Dot, I'm going to make the color black. Okay, that's fine. And the thickness of the border, just make it about 4. Okay, now let's set the font. I'm going to copy this, paste it right underneath here, and that is going to be dot set font, and the font new font, and this new font that is going to be, let's go for area. So area, comma, and I'm going to now say font dot, I want it to be bold, right, and comma, that's the size of my font. I'm going to make it about 50. That's fine. Now let's add this component straight onto our system. So we say add, get it centered though, center. Then what do we want to get center? We want the LBL, this very one, paste it in there. We want it to get centered. There we go. And finally, we now want the system to paint it on the system. There. We still won't be able to see anything now. Agree, the label is there ready, but we do need to create an object right up there inside display. So to do that, let me first of all just run it and you guys will see what I'm talking about. So let's run it, compile, and we run. You see there's nothing there. Okay, so let's close that, and I'm going to go right up there. So let's just copy this, go right up here, get rid of this, paste that, and I'm going to then create an object. I'll just call that display as well in lowercase, and that is going to be equals new display. There. Now that that is done, we now need to also initialize. Okay, let's create some public void initialize, a public void initialize. There. And in here we need to set the label, the layer set. Let's get a set layer, set layouts. That is going to be new border layer. Enter parentheses there. And we also need to then add a border to add the label straight to the top. Okay, so let's just compile first, and if I run it now, you will see the label still will not appear. Okay, there we go, it's not appearing. So for it to appear, the only thing we then need to do is we have to add it. So let's say add, I want it added to the north. And what am I adding to the north? That is going to be this very display. Grab that, enter a comma there, paste, and semicolon there. That's all there is to it. You see this one? That will make it display. Okay, so let's compile and run. There we go, look at that. So I now have my label. Okay, so let's create some buttons. I'm going to create a class, and this class I'll just call it, let's call that keypad, and let it get extended. And I'm also going to implement as follows: implement action listener. So that will listen to whatever event that I intend to use. Come right here, there. Okay, that's fine. Now, don't worry about this error. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come right underneath here, and I will just create a keypad. Let's call that keypad, and that is just going to be a constructor. Okay, and right inside this very keypad here, what I'm going to do will be as follows. First of all, let's add buttons, and the name for these buttons, I'm going to call that btn. The very first one, that will be delete, comma. The next one is going to be btn clear, followed by btn, that will be modulus, comma, btn plus minus. Now that would be for the top part of it. Then the next one is going to be btn, that will be 7, and so on. There. So let's just press enter so that you guys can see it all properly. So those are all my buttons in place now. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is I'm going to actually specify the font and so on for these buttons. So let's come right down here inside our constructor here. I'm going to start by saying font. I'm just going to call that font. That will be equals new font. And this new font is going to be, we might as well settle for this as well. I'm going to grab hold of this and just dump it in there. There. Get rid of one of these. Okay, that's my font. Maybe you reduce that to 40, I don't know yet, but let's see. Now let's set that font, set font, that will be font. Now for each of these buttons, let's create them. This is getting annoying, though we're not going to need this. I'm just going to say implement abstract. We don't need that, we have to delete that later on, but it's just getting annoying. I'm going to click on it. That is it. I'm going to get rid of it once the keypad is ready. So I'm going to get rid of that. Alright, let's come down in here. So I'm going to say the first one is going to be btn delete, this other one, according to the arrangement that I have there, but this is the main arrangement. That is going to be equals new button, and the name is delete. Okay, and this delete, we want it to get added, so we say add btn delete. And btn delete, we also want it to listen. btn delete dot listener. Grab hold of this listener and paste. Listen to this. There. So that's taken care of. That should be add listener. Okay, that's that taken care of. The next one is going to be btn clear. I'm just going to copy this. The name is going to be btn clear. Change this one to C, and the name, that will be C on top of the button, and here add that to the system. Next, after that is modulus. I'm going to make this modulus, and so on. There we go. And after modulus, I have the plus minus. Paste. Plus minus, that will be P, PM. PM here. No. I'm going to use a code for that. That will be PM here and PM here. And this modulus is the percent sign. So enter that there, and here you see the plus minus. That's a Unicode which is backspace U 00B1. Yeah, I think that is it. Okay, that is fine. So we have 4 in place, so let's copy that. That will be, and those are the 4 buttons on top. So I'm going to copy this and use that for the numbers. The first one is number 7, and this is 7. 7 here, 7 in here. BTN 7. 7. Why don't I have, oh, it's double T. No, that's wrong. Alright, that should have been BTN, so that's fine. Okay, the next one is going to be 8. 8 and 8. 8. Then we have 9. 9. 9. And we have BTN odd. So this will be odd. So that's for rule number 2 taken care of. Odd and odd. I guess you guys get the whole idea. So let me just speed that up. And there we go, guys. Those are all the buttons in place. So let's take it from the top. Okay, make sure you create a class for your buttons, or for the, I just call my keypad, and bring it down. And here now define all of the buttons. So it's all the same lines of code. I just change the names around and so on. Alright, now what about the arrangement? To arrange these buttons, what I want to do is I'm going to say, let's set the layout. Oh, before setting the layout, let me show you guys what's going to happen if the layout is not set. I'm going to take it right up here. First of all, we need to call that very button. Let's come right here. Okay, I'm going to create an object here for the keypad. So I'm going to just call that keypad. That will be equals lowercase keypad. That's the name, and I'm giving to it. That will be equals new keypad. There we go. And now this very new keypad, what I then want it to do is I want it to actually call the keypad and get it centered. Okay, that should be new keypad. So let's come in here and just say add and get it centered. That will be the new keypad, comma keypad. There we go. Okay, so let's try that out now. Click on compile, and we take it from there and click on run. There we go. Look at those. Look at the buttons everywhere. Alright, it's looking good. Now let's do one thing. You see this object? Let me move it and just join it to the object up there, the display object. Okay, now let's go back down there where the keyboards are. Scroll right down, and right underneath here I'm going to set the layout. Set layout, and that is going to be new. That's a grid layout. There we go. And now the arrangements, I'm going to make that 5 by 4, so 5 multiplied by 4, that will be 20, and that is correct. Then the size of the button is going to be 4 by 4. Come right here and there. Okay, the width and height is 4 by 4. Total buttons I have is 20. So let's compile. Click on compile and run. There, look at that, guys. That is very, very beautiful. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's exit out, and we're going to start work with all of the functionalities that we use to take care of the calculator itself. So let me go right up here inside the, there we go, inside the display. Okay, the display function. I'm going to start by first of all taking care of the operation. With the operation in there, I'm just going to enter private in lowercase, private void operation, enter parentheses, and there. Now in there, first of all, let's use an if statement. I'll just copy that. So if the value text dot length, if that is equals 0, then we want the system to return there. Now let's declare a double variable. So double, that will be digits. This very digits, I'm going to call that digit 2, that is equals double. Let's correct this. So digit 2 would be equals double dot value of the value text there. Now as for digit number 1, this very one, that will be equals digit 2. So come right down here and say digit 1 equals digit 2 dot double value, and enter semicolon there. Now I'm going to say equals, that will be equals false, and value text, that will be 0. There we go. So one of the very first function is taken care of. So I might as well take care of the arithmetic operators. So I'm going to say void. Let's call that plus, or we can call that addition. Let's just call it plus. And in the case of plus operator, that would be number 1, and we just call the operation this very one that we've just created. Paste that right there. That takes care of that. Okay, now we also need to take care of the others. Alright, let's copy this. We also have subtract, or we can call it, yeah, let's just call it minus, and that will be 2. Then we have the multiplication, that's number 3. Then we have division, and that, I'm going to change that to division, and this will be number 4. Then number 5, that will be modulus. 5 there. Those are the basic operators, the 5 basic operators I intend to use. And I'm also going to take care of the plus minus. So let's come down here. In the case of plus minus, let's just say if if this equals that, grab hold of that, come right down here, plus minus, paste, and we want it to return. So want it to return as follows. It's a dot char art, and that is equals minus there, and oh, that should be 0. Okay, here we also want the value of value text, that to be equals value text dot substring, and the value of the substring, that will be 1. And do that and change it here, right here, 1. Else value text, that is equals that plus value text. So what will happen is, whatever button you click on, when you click on the plus minus, the minus sign will be added right in front of it. There, that's what we've just done in here. Okay, now we still have more functions to take care of. Okay, let's take care of the digits. So I'm going to call that void digit, and that takes in the following arguments. Okay, so in here, let's grab hold of all of these here. Not all, but just grab hold of some of it. So if value text dot length, okay, let's say that should be dot length. Okay, value text dot length, and that is equals. Let's get this right, I'm getting tired. Right, and in that case, value text equals all of this. 0 equals, this one will be 0, and digit dot that's digit dot char art, character art 0, and that is if not equals decimal. In that case, value test equals value test plus the digits. Alright, so grab hold of this, paste it here, equals value text dot digit. There we go. So that is taken care of. That will be plus. Okay, now that is done, let's take care of something else. Let's take care of the Okay, let's take care of the dot, since the body text is taken care of. So I've just corrected this. So that's the digit, and I've also speed up the whole process, and I've taken care of the dot, that's for the decimal, and I also wrote another function for that to check the equals. That is the function here for the equals. Okay, this is the keyboard one that we did together, but this very function I meant to call it inside the digits, so I'm going to scroll right up there and just call that here as well. There we go. Okay, looking good so far. I've also speed up the whole process by adding two more functions. This is to clear, and this other one is to view the result that we have on the system and print it out. Okay, I'm going to call clear, so let's just grab hold of clear. So the clear function will be called inside the constructor for the design. So let's go right up there, right here, paste that in there. And we also need to call the view result inside the plus minus right here. So that will be view result. So make sure that function is called as well. Okay, another very important function we need is going to be for the backspace. So let's come right here, and that is it here, right on top of the operator. Yep, that is the function for backspace. Okay, and underneath here, anytime the backspace becomes empty, it defaults back to 0. Okay, all what these lines of code does is just to clear the numbers individually until it becomes empty. Once it's empty, this if statement will default it back to 0. Alright, that is that taken care of. Now we need to attach all of these functions straight onto the buttons. Okay, let's scroll right down and just do this. So right underneath here, I'm going to create a public function, and I'll just call that void action perform. So void action perform. Once that is done, we can even get rid of this void action perform, and that is going to be events and so on. So once that action perform is done, I'm then going to get rid of this. Alright, so press enter. Now the very first one is going to be, first of all, let's create an object, and I'll just call that objects equals events dot get source. There. So we seem to have two action perform in there, so I'm going to get rid of this. You can comment it out if you want to, just get rid of it. Alright, so in here that should be an event. So let's change that to event so that error will disappear. There, that error is gone. And if you notice, the error that this one was causing before is all gone now, because we now have an event. We can even delete it if you want. Alright, we now have an event that is driving the whole system. Now the very first that I'm going to take care of, let's first of all take care of the backspace according to the to how the system looks like, because let's compile and run, you see what I'm talking about. So run. Now I'm going to start with the back. Yeah, this is the backspace, this very one. Okay, I'm going to start with that. So right underneath here, let's say if object equals btn delete I'm going to put a curly braces here so that I can just do it all on one line. Then in that case, display dot backspace. That is the function that I showed you guys earlier. Close that. Close the curly braces. That is the very first one taken care of. So if you want, you can just copy and change it around. In total, there's going to be 20. So the next one is going to be clear. For the clear, this one will become clear. Function clear. And underneath, the next one is going to be modulus. Yeah, that is mode. And the function here, that will be mode. Dot, yeah, modulus. And after that I have PM, and this one is going to be PM. Dot PM. There. Okay, that is all taken care of. That's very good. We also have the numeric function. Okay, I'm going to now take care of the numeric function. So this is for the very first column, and this one is going to be 7. Change that to 7, and here that will be 7, digit 7. Dot digit, this very one here, and the value is 7. There, that's that done. So copy that. After 7 we have 8, 9, and a plus sign there. That's good. So I'm just arranging it according to the rows. So this one is going to be the plus one. So this is 8, 9. It's 9 here, 8, and this is going to be the plus. I think, yeah, it's called plus. No, it's called addition. Add, and this is called plus. Dot plus. Alright, done. Grab the next one. Paste. This is going to be 4, 5, and 6. And this is going to be, I think I call this the minus. Yeah, minus. And here, let's subtract. This is 6. This is 5 and 4. Okay, looking good. Then we have the next one, that is 1, 2, 3, and beside it is, I think, is the division. Divide, no, multiplication. Mod. And this is 2 or 1, 2, 3, and in here dot multiplication. There we go. Okay, that's good. So copy that, paste, and this is going to be 0, and this is decimal, and beside the decimal that will be equals sign, and we then have division. Right, so this is division, this is equals, yeah, that's correct, and this is decimal. That is good, all taken care of. Look at that, guys. Okay, so let's compile and run it. Compile and see what's going to happen next. Alright, nothing is happening. I need to call it inside digits, so let's view it inside the digits. So let's go right up here, and I need the digit itself. Where is it? The function digit. There we go, right here. Okay, all I need to call is view result. Paste that in there. Okay. Alright, we have the PM is viewing that. Digit is now viewing it. Okay. We also need the decimal to make sure it views the result. Scroll right down. Alright, so I think I've viewed all the results. They all have view. That is fine. Okay, just to be on the safe side, let's go back and check. The last thing that is left actually is to take care of the equals buttons, and hopefully that should be it. Right, that's digits, yeah, that's fine. That is fine. PM, that's fine. Modulus, that's fine. Okay, I think I'm on the right path. Yeah. Alright then, let's just take care of the, let's take care of the equals. Alright, I'm going to do that right underneath the operator. Yeah, right here. Okay, with the equals, I'm just going to say void equals. Yeah, put an S on it. There. Now, first of all, let's declare a variable that I'm going to call answer. Now, if the value equals 0, I want it to return, so I might as well get hold of that. And this, I'm going to need that, so get hold of all of these here. Let's grab that and paste it right underneath here. Yeah, that'll save me some time. Now the next thing is I'm now going to use a switch statement. It's a switch. OP, the operator, if you guys can still recall. There. And let's say case number 1. case number 1, that is the plus sign. So that would be answer equals digits 1 plus digit 2 dot double value there. And all I then need to do is just end up with a break in there. There we go. So that's the very first one taken care of. So all I'm now going to do is I'm going to copy this and just change it to run. Case number 2. Case number 2, that will be subtract. And number 3, that is multiply. Changes to 3. Number 4, that will be division. That's 4. And we'll divide here. Case number 5, that is modulus. 5 and modulus. That's easy. Okay, and finally, what about the default? Let's enter a default statement in there. So come right down here and say default. That is going to be value text equals new double. That to be equals, change that, equals new double and answer dot convert that to string there. And view itself, that will be, so let's come down here and just say view result there, and equals, in that case will become true, equals true. Digit, that's digit 1, that will be equals 0, while the operator equals 0 as well. Okay, so let's take care of these errors that I have in here. That is invalid, so the default statement is not there. That should have been equals 0, and enter a break in there, and that's, get rid of that, and that should take care of my equals. So bring it down so that you guys can see it properly. That is equals taken care of as well. Alright then, so let's save it and try it out, compile it first, and let's see how that's going to work. So click on run. Very good. So let's try this out. Let's try all of the backspace. That is fine. And clear, we need to have a look at that. So backspace is working fine. Let's say 8 times 3 equals, whoa, that is, there's something wrong in there. So let's come right down here where that shouldn't have, there we go. The function here, that's not, it's not a digit, it's actually a clear. So it's equals dots equals, there we go, that's the function that I needed. Now coil braces, and I The other one, the clear, wasn't working. Let's look for the clear. Okay, the clear seems alright here. So okay, let's take it up and just see here. Let's see, we need the clear. Let's delete. Oh, look at that. That is wrong. That should have been clear. Okay, that's a problem when you sometimes copy. So that is fine. Hopefully, I think it's all fine now. Okay, let's take it from the top. So have a good look at the lines of codes. I'm going to bring it down up to here, there. So you can always pause the video now and just type it all out. As for the equals, as for the plus, minus, multiplication, division, the decimal point, equals, clear, function, has to view the keyboards. Bring it down, down again, and again. Of course, if you are DJ Omen's channel member, you can always just give DJ Omen, just drop him a line. There we go. But you have to be a channel member. There we go, guys. That is it, all taken care of. So I'm now going to run it and let's see how that's going to work. Compile and let's run. Decision time 8 multiplied by 3. That is correct. Clear. Very good. Clear is now working. Plus that. There we go. And that is how you create your own calculator in Java using the applet itself. So with that, guys, I'm gonna call it the end of this beautiful tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoy it, and please do subscribe to this, my second channel, and you can also join to become a member of DJ Omen's channel. So if you want to know more about programming in Java, you can always visit my second channel or my first channel. So with that, I'm going to say bye for now. You all have a nice day now.